Hey y'all, it's me, Ray Brownix, and I'm back again with yet another video. So as you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be a flight attendant Q&A video. So I just literally got finished recording like a podcast visual on a 3 or 4 month update of me being a flight attendant and living in Atlanta, and I intended on doing the Q&A at the end of that video, and I completely forgot. So I had to make a separate video. So here we are. So I asked on my social media if anybody had any questions about being a flight attendant, and I got a few questions, so I'm just gonna answer them. I will do a part 2 of this video. Leave your questions in the comments, leave your questions on my Instagram, leave your questions wherever, and I will make sure to answer them, okay? For those of you who do not know, I became a flight attendant. I graduated flight attendant training November the 18th. So it's been about 4 months now that I've been a flight attendant. And I am based in Atlanta, Georgia. And yeah, if you want to be a flight attendant like me, or you just want to watch flight attendants be flight attendants, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you check out my flight attendant folder or playlist or whatever. Lots of flight attendant content coming, okay? So the first question I got is, how do you get into it as far as school and how much the school costs? So first of all, you don't have to go to school to be a flight attendant. I get asked this a lot. I know there are like flight attendant training schools out there, but you do not have to go to flight attendant training. I did not. I mean, you do have to go to flight attendant training, but not the flight attendant training school and then apply to become a flight attendant. I just applied. I didn't have any prior flight attendant knowledge or you know, any of that. You just apply and you go. I always see people talk about these schools. I wouldn't even recommend going to them because they cannot guarantee you a job. The only way to get a job is to apply and get hired. And like I said, and like from what I hear, the companies don't even care that you got flight attendant school. Like nobody that was in my flight attendant training class went to flight attendant training school before they got the job. So yeah, I don't know what the price is of those training classes, but I do not recommend paying for them. I'm in a group on Facebook, Flight Attendant Career Connection, and they will tell you the same as well. Everybody in there will tell you, you do not need to pay for flight attendant training before you go to a flight attendant, like before you apply to be a flight attendant. They have their own way. Airlines have their own way that they want to train you to do the job. So you don't have to do that. And that group I will leave in the description box as well, so that you can get connected. It's a great place to go if you want to become a flight attendant, or if you're in the process of becoming a flight attendant. So much information about different airlines, people that work there, their experiences, you know, the experiences getting hired, all those type of things like that. Make sure you check that group out. The next question I got is, how do you apply? People always ask me this. I don't understand this question either, but you just apply. Like, you go on the website and you apply. You figure out what airline you may want to work for and you apply. Now for me, I didn't, well, I would say I didn't have a particular airline I wanted to work for, but I did. But when I got hired, a lot of airlines were hiring at the same time. I was applying to everybody, honey. I did so many applications and stuff like that. And if you want to see that process, I have a video on how I got, you know, like my journey to becoming a flight attendant, from the very first application I put in to my interviews and actually getting the job. So yeah, I'll link that also in the description as well. But yeah, if you want to apply, you just apply. And the group that I just mentioned, there's a list on there that the founder of the group created, and it updates. It has like all the airlines on it, and it updates to when they're applying. It has like the link for you to apply. So check that group out, find that list, and get to applying. You just apply. So the next question is, do y'all have to clean the bathroom on board? And no, not in my airline. I'm gonna say no across the board. I've never heard of it. So no, I don't have to clean the bathroom. When the plane lands, a cleaning crew comes on after every flight and like cleans the whole everything. Okay, I don't clean no bathrooms, right? Are there any requirements to even being considered to getting into the program? I guess the program is like getting the flight attendant job and getting into training. And the requirements are that you're able to do the job as far as physically able to, you know, help assist people with their bags. you know, provide great customer service. And different airlines, they look for different things, but you know, it's just like any other job. It has requirements just like any other job. It's not something like, oh, you have to be skinny as heck. Back in the day, okay, when I was in training, one of my instructors was telling us, like, or like somebody that had to come in and speak to us, like back in like the 50s or something like that, there really were requirements like to be a flight attendant. Like you had to have, like, you had to look a certain way in heels, you had to weigh a certain amount, you couldn't be married, you couldn't have kids, like all these different types of stuff. I remember whatever they was listing, it was like pretty much I wouldn't have been able to be a flight attendant back then. But now that's illegal. So no, there's not any requirements necessarily. It's just that you're able to do the job and that they think that you will be a great fit for the airline. Any tips for the water exercise? So I know some airlines have water day or whatever. My airline didn't. I didn't have to get in no water for training, so not the one that asked about that. But you be alright. Are airlines always hiring, or is it a certain season? They're not always hiring, but like I said, when I got hired, like everybody was hiring at one time. And I think that has to do with the fact that the pandemic had happened, and like flying was picking back up again. So they were hiring more people, like people were flying. So they need to hire more people. So that's why everybody was hiring at the same time. Like I know right now, Delta's hiring again. I want to say Spirit and Frontier, like it's a few of them, but it's not a certain season. But they may hire, like they may be hiring, like a lot of them may be hiring during a certain time if something in particular is going on. But and no, the airlines are not always hiring. I don't know about every airline, but it's just like, it's not like you can always apply to be you have to apply when they hire. What is the appearance policy? For my airline, as far as getting hired goes, I guess you can look like anything. Like it's different people that look like different things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. I mean, of course I am just gorgeous, you know, but you don't have to look like me, I guess, to be a flight attendant. Like you don't have to be skinny or tall or, you know, a certain race or even a certain gender. You don't have to be a woman, you know, a female to be a flight attendant. So but as far as like the appearance policy, as far as like airlines, like when it comes to tattoos and stuff, most airlines just don't want them like showing. You can have them. I don't know off the top of my head of any airline that's just like no tattoos, period. Even if it's covered up, can't have it. I don't know of any of those. And a lot of airlines are like changing their policies as far as like tattoos go. Now as far as like my airline, like with hair, we can have our hair pretty much, I'm gonna just make it short and cut dry and say pretty much any way, as long as it's like of a natural color. But yeah, we have certain rules for like how we have to wear our uniform, but there's not like a particular one way that a flight attendant has to look. So yeah. How often do you travel in 1 week as a flight attendant? It depends. So with me being on call this week, I haven't traveled at all because they haven't even called me. But I think last week I was on call for like 5 days, and I was on a 5-day trip. So I was traveling. I was doing what, 3 or 4 legs a day, and a leg is like a flight. So I was doing 3 or 4 flights a day, and I was on a 5-day trip. So yeah, it just depends. And as you get more seniority and stuff, you can travel like as least as more as you want to, pretty much. Is the pay good? If the pay is good, I have not gotten there yet. Okay. In my experience and what I'm dealing with right now, no, the pay is not good, but that could be for different several reasons. That's not every airline. people that work at different airlines, the pay is different, how they do, you know, certain things is different. So just for me, it's not right now. How did you start the process and what was your biggest obstacle? I started by just applying, and I buckled down, honey, because I meant I was gonna get this job. And like I said, I applied to multiple airlines. So, and I just wanted whoever was gonna hire me, I knew God was gonna send me where I needed to be. So yeah, I just applied. And the biggest obstacle for me was getting my passport and on time. I got a couple of, like, I had interviews and then I couldn't, I wasn't chosen for the position because I didn't have my passport like physically in hand, even though I had went to get it. And at that time it was like a passport backup type of thing going on. It might still be going on, where it was like taking like weeks and weeks, even if you got to pay for it to get expedited. It was taking weeks and weeks to get your passport. I had to call my senator and the governor. Like, I called them to help me get my passport expedited. Like, I called them and let them know, like, honey, I need your help. Oh, let me hear my phone dying. How can I get over my flight nerves? I would say to just fly. That's the only way to get over it. You be alright. And the last question is, do you get anxiety being on the plane a lot? And no, I don't. I'm actually pretty comfortable on the plane. I've only had one experience, and I was flying into LaGuardia where the landing was bumpy, and I was literally hollering, okay? But I don't get anxiety. I love it. I like to look out the window and stuff like that. I love flying. I love taking off. That's the best part. I love it. But yeah. So those are the questions I got for my Q&A today. If you would like to ask me anything else or know anything else, please be sure to leave it in the comments or write me on Instagram, whatever, so I can make a more in-depth Q&A for you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at RayBroadnext, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.